Well, hot damn, Hollywood. That's how it's f***ing done. Is what I wish I could say right now. Damn it. Damn it, man. You guys have no idea how much I wanted to love this movie. How much I was rooting for this movie to be great and really nail this Top Gun sequel. And it almost did. That's the bitch of it. It was so close to getting everything right. The story was good. The characters were good. Maverick was cool. The planes were badass. I was into everything. I was having fun. The movie was firing on all cylinders. Except for one thing. One absolutely crucial, vitally important thing that they dropped the ball on so incompetently, so tragically, that it utterly ruined the entire thing to the point where all the other stuff they got right suddenly meant nothing. There was no gay volleyball. What the f*** movie? Where was it? How could you leave out the gay volleyball? How could you possibly make a Top Gun movie without the most important thing of all? The most iconic scene of the original movie. More iconic than the planes, more iconic than the giant boulder in Raiders of the Lost Ark. The thing that everybody knows this movie for. Even if you've never seen Top Gun before in your life, you know about the gay volleyball. I don't know how they could possibly let this happen. They even tried to replace the gay volleyball with football of all things. Football! Can you even imagine? And it wasn't even gay football either. At best, it was ambiguously gay football. Are you kidding me? 30 plus years to make a sequel and that was the best you could do? Ambiguously gay football. Get the hell out of here with that shit. You know, I could tolerate a lot of missteps. Kelly McGillis not coming back? Whatever. Val Kilmer only making a cameo? Hey, that's life. What can you do? But the linchpin of the entire movie, the one thing you absolutely positively had to get right or else, was the one you shit the bed with worst of all. No gay volleyball? Negative 10 stars. This movie. I am, of course, messing with you. No. Top Gun Maverick, despite the unfortunate lack of gay volleyball, this movie's f***ing great. And the sweetest thing is, it's great in all the ways it needed to be. It's not just a great film on its own. As a proper sequel to the original, this was damn near perfect. In fact, I'd go so far as to say that Top Gun Maverick is the new blueprint for how to make sequels of classic movies and stick the landing, because everything you might have been worried about just works. Everything that was within their power to control just f***ing works. But to really appreciate everything they did here, you need to watch the original and this one back to back. Because only when the original is fresh in your mind are you really gonna pick up on so many of the little details. I watched Top Gun on Netflix the night before because I'd never actually seen it. I'd seen parts of it but not the whole thing. So the original was right up here when I sat down to watch the sequel, and within moments I was blown away. Because guess what? The way this movie starts, they use the same musical cues. There's a very similar kind of opening sequence that feels like a very classy homage rather than a copy-paste job. They even use the same style of font in the title sequence. After maybe 60 seconds, you'll be saying to yourself, oh yeah, this is f***ing Top Gun. And that's just the beginning. Every step of the way, the amount of reverence and respect that Top Gun Maverick has for the original film, which is, let's not kid ourselves, more than a little cheesy by today's standards, was beautiful. They're constantly referencing events from that movie, and they inform tons of stuff that happens here, everything from the characters to the story. You could tell very quickly that everyone involved, especially Tom Cruise, really cared about doing this right. The movie wears its love for the original on its sleeve, and no spoilers, but it's not just Maverick who comes back for this. There are a lot of nods to some of the old characters, and when we pick up with them, this is surprisingly poignant stuff. What happens here, it's actually very emotionally affecting how well this is handled. And it all ties back to the original. The rivalry with Iceman and how that relationship has grown. The deeper cuts in the movie, like what happened to Goose, that comes back because Maverick still has lingering issues about it all these years later, and the emotions involved still feel really raw and really genuine. And it's not just the serious stuff that works. They even pay nods to the silly stuff. The football scene, yeah, we know what it's referencing, and the movie knows it too. The gay volleyball scene in Top Gun, sure, in retrospect, it's ridiculous. But this works so well because the movie is very self-aware about that, and it's not afraid to lean into that slightly and embrace the silliness of it. It never becomes super cheesy like the original, but it's just enough to be really fun. It's just the right amount of cheese and nostalgia while still keeping its feet planted on the ground. They got the formula just right. So if you're worried that the movie might have been influenced by current year sensibilities or current year politics, don't be. There's none of that in there. It doesn't get political at all, in fact. They just focused on telling a great story with great characters. This is the same world, this is the same Maverick, just with 30 some odd years tacked on. And the movie pays so much attention to sticking to the themes of the original too. Like in Top Gun, Maverick was this reckless young hotshot pilot with daddy issues, and now he's a reckless veteran hotshot pilot with surrogate son issues when it comes to one of the new characters, Rooster, who has surrogate daddy issues of his own with Maverick. It's perfect symmetry there. And it's not just the old themes that are great, it also introduces new ones, and this is what usually trips up movies like this these days. And for a while I thought they were going to fall into that same trap, but they proved that as long as you're smart and respectful about it, this doesn't have to be a big thing at all. Obviously, a lot of time has passed, and when the movie picks up, Maverick is kind of a relic of a bygone era. He's not irrelevant exactly, but the Navy is not so subtly trying to push him out the door to make way for new pilots and drones and all that stuff, but at every step of the way, Maverick is just kicking the door back in like, over my dead body, assholes. You're not getting rid of me. And he definitely has moments when he struggles or screws up or doubts himself, but ultimately, the movie is about Maverick proving that no matter how things might change, warfare, technology, whatever, situations are always going to arise where you need a guy like him, because there are things that only he can do. But still, it gets better, because it's not as if the new stuff is bad at all. The new stuff is great too. I genuinely liked all the new characters. Nobody is a carbon copy of the old ones. There's no new Hollywood or new Cougar or new Viper, none of that. They all feel original and fresh with their own sets of issues. You've got Hangman, the cocky, smug asshole who you just want to smack in the face whenever you see him, but he's so charming that you kind of want to like him at the same time. There's Bob, the quiet, awkward dude who doesn't really get humor. Phoenix, who you might think was just put in there for female representation, but she's not there to be the female pilot. She's just a pilot, and she's actually really cool. And there's others too, but they're all fun, enjoyable characters. So much so that if the studio wanted to do a spin-off movie focusing on them, I'd be down for that. Of course, the one with the biggest part is Rooster, because, well, just look at him. I wonder whose son he might be. The relationship between him and Maverick is really the heart of the movie. It's complicated, it's tense, there's resentment there. Some of it is about Goose, and some of it is about new stuff, but it all ties together and resonates so well because it fits Top Gun thematically, and all that respect that it has just organically carries it over into this new story, which I got such a kick out of. One, because I was super invested in what happened to everybody, and two, because the action is so freaking good. Now, for me personally, one of the main reasons to see this was Joe Kosinski, who I think is pretty underrated as a director. Storyteller, that's a different conversation, but he has a really dynamic visual style, and if you give him a good script, he can make it look cool as hell. And he really outdid himself this time because the aerial battles in this movie are some of the best I've seen in a long time. And a lot of that is because they used real planes. And I'm sure there's some CG in there too, but when you see an F-18, that's a real F-18. It wasn't made in a computer, it's it's actually there, so it's always gonna look great. I don't know how much of this was practical, but it looks like they attached cameras to real jets that were really up there flying around doing all this insane dogfighting stuff. So you get an amazing sense of how fast these things move and how incredibly fucking dangerous it is to be doing this. I mean it. There are aerial sequences, especially in the climax, that are so nail-biting without even meaning to. I started leaning forward in my seat in anticipation because it was getting so hairy. Awesome stuff. And it all expertly builds up to a big climax that is so satisfying and so cathartic. It's a lot like Ghostbusters Afterlife in that if you have any real love for Top Gun or these characters, you'll get emotional. I got emotional. I shed a fucking tear. No joke. And I hadn't even seen the original movie front to back until the night before. That's how well this was done. And I could still go on after all that, but I don't think I need to. Even with the unforgivable omission of the gay volleyball, this movie is fantastic. Top Gun couldn't have asked for a better sequel. This is one of the best action movies in years. It respects the lore, it respects the characters, the new ideas it puts forth are all great and smart and fitting. Top Gun Maverick isn't just a sequel that honors and does justice to the original. I think it's better than the original. A lot better. Now, you might not like me saying that, but hell, see it for yourself. It really is that good. Honestly, I'd put this up there with Cobra Kai in terms of how you bring back an old franchise the right way. I will now think more fondly of the original Top Gun because Top Gun Maverick stuck the landing so well, and I can't think of any higher praise for a sequel than that. I don't give star ratings, but I think you get the message. 2 thumbs way up. I love this movie. Go see it. I'm out. Thanks for watching, everybody. Let me know what you thought about Top Gun Maverick in the comments. While you're here, ding that bell icon and follow my social media so you can always be notified when I upload new videos. Links to that and to my live streaming channel are down below. And most importantly, don't forget to hit that thumbs up, share, subscribe, and make sure you're still subscribed, because what really deserves to die a horrible fiery death when it's shot out of the sky at supersonic speed by a surface-to-air missile is the YouTube algorithm. That's all for now, but I'll be back with more soon, so stay tuned for that, do all the YouTube things, and I'll see you next time.